Just remember that you are the prize.
Yeah, all right.
I'm the prize. What does that mean?
It just means not compromising like my values, my happiness, my peace, not settling for less than what I know I deserve, and not being afraid to walk away from a situation that can no longer serve me.
Yo, shut up. Imagine calling yourself the prize of you dating Future, baby. That's why we always tell my young G's their past matters. The type of men that they used to date and they past matters. Imagine saying that I just will never compromise my expectation. Meanwhile, you getting your back twisted and rearranged by a dude like Future. Who?
You know what I mean? So it's been difficult, man, watching her. I hope and I think she's learned from her mistakes like you want your children to learn from their mistakes. But she's an adult. And I don't get a say so.
Not Steve Harvey finally realizing Lori ain't nothing but a spoiled brat getting run through by everyone in the industry. Mind you, Steve literally spends all his time and money on Lori, while his biological offspring struggle in poverty. To make matters even worse, he was exposed by his son for physically mistreating him when he was over at his house. When people called him out on this, he made it seem like they were telling him to hate Lori, when the whole time, they were just pointing out the bias he has for her. Fast forward to 2026, and he's now calling Lori a brat. You cannot make this up. It's crazy that it took her fumbling Michael B. Jordan for him to finally see the broad he created. Now, for those of y'all who are somehow out of the loop, Lori has been trending these past couple of days for all the wrong reasons, after it was reported that she had been trying to get in contact with Michael after he won an Oscar. Immediately this mess came out, people started dragging her. They also brought up Steve because back when she and Michael broke up, he was really the only one that was Team Michael. Lori and her mama Marjorie were throwing shade and trying to make him out to be the bad guy, knowing good and well that Lori was the one who did him dirty.
Because when a woman finds a good one, then that's what you're looking for. But I will say that she's young still, you know what I mean? And I too was looking forward to them making it because I thought, oh, you know what? She's been looking for someone to keep on her arm, to be able to have a relationship with that is meaningful and is successful, because we know that the girl gonna keep her somebody that is gonna be newsworthy, you know. But well, I think
damn, Lisa, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, she ain't no joke. She ain't. And her mama Marjorie, my girlfriend, she gonna make sure that she doing and navigating the right way, because she gonna make sure that she is. And I think every mother should do that, you know. But I think at the same time, she's young. I think the established relationship that Michael did have before this one, I think that maybe that social media, that all of that was a lot for him. And I think that he, you know, I heard about his ex, and him was so serious that he may have missed her.
In fact, just a few weeks ago, Steve and Michael were spotted catching up at a basketball game, and you could see just how happy Steve was to meet him. Steve has never interacted with any of Lori's exes this much, especially after the breakup. But with Michael, it's different. However, according to Steve, he ended up getting into a nasty argument with Lori over this because she felt like his still being so nice to Michael was making her look bad. This girl is so spoiled that she straight up told her daddy, who is a grown man, not to be friends with the only responsible man she's ever dated in her life because it'll make her look bad.
See, I gotta be real careful because Lori, boy, she be in my... I can't make no mistakes. I can't make stuff. I saw one of her exes somewhere at a game somewhere, and I shook his hand. Boy, I can't even touch his no more. I better not acknowledge him or look at him or nothing no more. So I'm off limits. If you are ex, your ex is my ex too. That's the rule. The rule in our house is any boy that's an ex, he's now my ex too. I must hate him like we was dating. It's been hard, man, because her life has had to be played out in the public eye.
But here's where things get messy. It's now being speculated that Steve feels like all this mess is his fault because he spoiled Lori too much and ended up turning her into an Industry 304. Remember that one episode of the Steve Harvey show where Marjorie was telling Lori not to sleep around in college with just anyone? Well, it's safe to say all that fell on deaf ears because we've all heard about her dating just about anyone with money who proposes to her. And word on the street is, Steve feels like he had done a better job being more strict with her. She would have turned out differently.
You know, I know you just started dating this year, so how are we gonna handle that? Okay, no athletes, no rappers. We're gonna go down the list.
When it comes to dating, my mom has nothing to worry about. I got this.
Don't ever try to fit in when God has clearly created you to stand out. Always be a lady. and understand you are the prize. Don't give yourself to anybody that is not going to be your husband. If they love you, if they really care about you, they'll wait on you. Steve and I have been drilling this into our daughters for forever.
You have attractive daughter that's in the light. It'll attract a certain
demographic of men.
Yeah, certain cat, man. And cats that's got more know that they got more to offer so they can come quicker. You know what I mean? So it's been difficult, man, watching her. But she's very smart. And everything they say online, I know it's never true. I hate it for her. But I think she's figuring it out now. I hope. And I think she's learned from her mistakes like you want your children to learn from their mistakes. But she's an adult. And I don't get a say-so in it.
That right there is the face and words of a father with a lot of regrets about how his daughter turned out. Now, what's interesting about all this is that while Steve was giving all this attention to Lori, who ain't even his biological daughter, he was ignoring his real kids. And the few times when he wasn't ignoring them, he still failed to treat them right. According to multiple reports, Marjorie convinced Steve to dedicate more of his time and energy to her own children, Lori, Morgan, and Jason, who aren't biologically his. An insider with knowledge of the situation disclosed that from the moment he married Marjorie, he basically abandoned his biological kids and poured all his focus into Marjorie and her daughter Lori. A source told Radar Online, Steve's got 4 biological kids with 2 previous wives and 3 stepkids with his current wife Marjorie, and they're driving him crazy. He did the right thing adopting Marjorie's kids and loves them like his own, but there's a lot of dissension among the blended Harvey clan. And did you know that Steve's second wife, Mary, actually took legal action against Steve years ago and even claimed that Marjorie influenced Steve to remove her son Winton from her custody? In the legal filing, she also alleged that Steve physically abused her son Winton so severely that he experienced difficulty urinating. According to reports published by TMZ, Steve hit him with a belt and then a paddleboard, the kind used for hazing in fraternities. Cops took photos of the boy's injuries, showing bruises on his buttocks and right thigh, as well as cuts on his leg. The police report says the boy told cops the beating was so brutal he had trouble urinating for days. But before the case could be sent to court, Marjorie and Steve allegedly used their resources to close the case without any further investigation, even though there was a lot of physical evidence to support Mary's claims. But Winton wasn't the only one who had a bad experience with Steve. His son Broderick also revealed during a sit-down interview with Steve that they practically had no relationship until he reached 16 years old.
Really have my dad full-time into my life until I was 16. Right?
Not Steve sitting over there looking all confused like he didn't know what Broderick was talking about. I mean, Steve was definitely fulfilling his financial duties as a father, but he was barely present in the lives of his biological kids. And the few times when he was, there was always some BS that came with it. And the same situation played out with Steve's twin daughters, Carly and Brandy. According to the sisters, Steve was essentially absent and put in absolutely no effort to maintain a presence in their lives, especially after he divorced their mother. Lori, on the other hand, has nothing bad to say about him whatsoever. In fact, Lori has been accused of mocking her step-siblings a couple of times. One instance was when she posted this video of her and Steve spending time together. Midway through the video, she asked him who his favorite person was, to which he said her.
Who's your favorite person?
Oh, without a doubt, 100%.
I know that's right.
This was an obvious shade at her siblings. Lori also went on and on about how she and Steve go on annual father-daughter dates to spend quality time with each other, something he has never done with his biological daughters.
One of our annual father-daughter dates to my favorite Japanese restaurant, and you just started talking to me about guys, and you just told me that you always supported me and you'd always be there for me no matter what, and you loved me unconditionally.
I cannot even imagine how his biological children felt watching this. I mean, no one is saying Steve did something wrong by adopting Lori, but the fact that it came at the cost of him abandoning his biological kids is definitely shady. One person said, "She carries his last name but not his DNA. Lori is not his daughter. Steve is a joke, man." Another person said, "It's so strange how Steve Harvey flaunts Lori Harvey and never speaks of his real biological daughters. I believe every conspiracy. But now, I want to know your thoughts. What do you think of Steve going off on Lori for being spoiled? And do you think he is right for dragging her? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And don't forget to click here to watch this other messy video.